The first thing I've learned for this regatta is here's the line sight right here. So if you look at 184588 in there, they can be looking at her sitting right on the line as the line sight. This is race 1, San Diego area ILCA 6 championship. And it does include kids from other areas too, but the top San Diego sailor will get their name on the trophy. I'm assuming we're going to be having general recalls here. Oh boy. You got to remember, if you're calling the pin, you have to wait for the sound signal. The sound signal will take a while. Probably took 2 seconds almost to get here. Here's Zach right here. I don't have many kids, but here's one. Race 1. Here you are right in the middle. Your vang looks the same as pretty much everybody in the leaders. The leaders are not changing course that much. The Kosei and 210663 is doing more working the boat, but those guys are pretty stable, not a whole lot. Ryan here, pretty stable. Outhaul, very loose. Cunningham, very loose. Zach's Cunningham might be tighter, believe it or not. His front of his sail does not look as bagged out as Ryan's does. Any Cunningham on it all twists the leech off too. As soon as you get a puff, the thing just blows out right away. And then you're looking back here, and the thing I learned on this race is you got to look for, just a minute ago everybody looked like this guy, kind of had power. Right now everybody looks light, so again, you just be patient. But if you see people back here, 5, 6 boats, here's the next puff right here. So he should be right, he's doing the right thing. He's kind of protecting in there and staying low, I guess. But anyway, you do watch the other boats for power coming down the course. You're being patient, not trying to do too much in the lighter wind, and then all of a sudden you see somebody coming, you get yourself, hopefully you're catching the wind before other people. Now obviously we got to work on these positioning things now. For our goals are obviously Midwinter's West coming up in about 4.5 months. But you're in a little bit of a pickle in that you've got fast people to leeward. You have people to windward who are going fast, right? They're coming in by the lead, just own little private wind. He's trying to go low, then the boom out. Okay. I look at this, I think the right gate looking downwind is favored. Watch her. See how high her angle is coming towards me? She's perpendicular. That definitely the right one. So you'd be going to the right one right now. I don't know if you guys can see that, but if I was going to start right now, if that was a start line, I would start where that guy is. If it was a righty, he'd be pointed up towards Mission Bay Yakla. This not. He's pointed towards the left. He's pointed towards SeaWorld. But that's okay. I like what Zach did here. He's going to get around in very clear air, but you can see these guys are just monster lifted on port. He's just got to stay. Yeah, see, the advantage for him is he only got 1 boat on his breeze. And he has to stay in bad air, which is okay. He does not want to tack and go back through. I think he gained on Ryan on that run, so not bad. I think the thing we learned is we expected a south wind to have the left pay upwind, and I bet you he tells me that it wasn't left favored on the first beat. I think it's playing the shifts. You got to have a compass and you got to come off the line. And if you're anything more than about 3 or 4 degrees headed, you need to tap.
Roger,
General. Practice starts. Race 3 had a general recall. And now you see how people are hanging back a little now. So she's the line sight, right? The recall, the I flag or the U flag or the black flag open up line sights for you because people hang further back. Our boy is 216526, and he's gonna start. Oh, that boat is breaking it right there. 166028. They should be calling him. Anyway, good practice start. Another good practice start. Oh, 216526 came out of there okay, I think. we learned today is that the current is carrying the seaweed out the bed. So it moves across the course, and if you do catch any little bit of seaweed, it makes a difference. If you catch a piece of seaweed, like a solid 12-inch piece or something, it's race ending almost. Okay, look at Luciana, look at her.
I can't really see.
That is awesome. Getting better every race.
The lure gate is too shallow with the low tide.
Beautiful day. High flag start. He was very friendly on the last one. I feel like there was a lot more boats over than 3, but that's all right. I like racing. 216, 526. Individual recall. So my boy started right in the middle. You have to be careful of starting in the middle all the time. Unless you're a rocket. Unless you're a very, you can sail your boat by feel and the boat sails itself more and you know that you're fast. The problem being in the middle is if you get rolled or you have a bad start, you're already behind half the fleet immediately. At least if you're near an end, you have a higher chance of being in the top 25%. But if you start in the middle and get a bad start and you're doing that consistently, you're gonna have a couple bad races because you're immediately 50% of the fleets ahead of you when you're in the middle of, right in the middle. Seems to me all the really good sailors are starting down the line, and it's 2 o'clock right now, so we expect the wind to come around over here and build actually. I mean, we never really know, but it's supposed to build up to like 10, 11 knots. Oh, look at Zach, got a little lane out of there. 6526. And then there's a monster puff coming right from, I wonder what that's gonna be, a righty or a lefty. Look at that. That boy right next to her is Sabot national champion. Oh wait, maybe Sabot national champ had to round it. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. She started right next to the girl that won the last 2 races, I think. Look at that. Yeah, we've learned a lot today. We learned how to start near the line, accelerate. We learned about the P flag. When the P flag's up, you got 1 minute at least, more than 1 minute. And when the P flag goes down, if it's not up, you got less than 1 minute. And learned what else? Learned to tie very good knots on our main sheet. Luciana might be winning this race. But anyway, she's learned so much today. This is race 5, and things get pretty complicated, but these boats look like they are going left to right. I don't know if you can see them, but they're moving left to right, so they needed to be crabbing like those boats over there into the current, I think, a little more. But if you look at the shore, you can see how much the tide has gone out. You can see the wet beach up there. You know, it's gone down a good 7, 8 feet. 7 feet, which is quite a big tide. It's wild because it doesn't seem like it's moving that fast. Anyhow, a lot to be aware of out here. That's why it takes a lot of practice, so we learn all this stuff. See how much it went out? I'm sure some people did not even feel the current today. Like if you talk to people today, say, oh, I don't think the current played any role at all. And I don't know what I would have done differently than these guys have done, but we do have to be aware of it. Its impact on the starting line, impact at the weather mark, impact on how long a leg takes. So for instance, this would have made our downwind legs, we'd have been just moving left to right downwind, so that would have affected our ley lines and things like that. Anyway, what I've learned from the Balboa Yacht Club team is it looks like their leeward tailtails are actually wiggling quite a bit upwind. They are not squeezing up, even though it's flat water. They're not really squeezing up at all. It's all pretty much telltale straight back all the time with very little variance. This is the top 4 in the ILCAs, 4s, and here's Luciana. It's so good. I mean, you're talking people that have done a couple hundred races in their life, not regatta right here. So this is just really, really fun. And the lesson is, one of our lessons is we really got to pounce on the rigging, making sure that we really nitpick every knot, every detail, every little thing. We had our Cunningham pinned between the mast and the boom. And so that was another lesson. That's why we couldn't adjust the Cunningham. But anywho, all good learning. Beautiful day. Here is the B fleet in their last race. Look at how tight that is. You literally have 10 boats within 10 seconds of each other. That's a Lorelei 577, L9559, Clara Stewart 10153, Oliver 8600, Jack 10116, Clara 10396. We got a lot of B fleeters. Kelp was a factor today. So what I've learned is the current was just impacting the downwind legs mostly. It was making the boats move from their left to right. So for instance, those boats that are coming downwind right now, they're moving away from me, essentially. They're going from their left to their right all the time, so they should be crabbing towards the marks. There's a lot of indicators of that, but one of them is every boat ends up being on port tack coming into the gates because they get swept way over. But other than that, the current was not a big factor. There was nowhere to get out of the current. So, on my way in, looking at the 8 fleet. So this is where it's at right here. If you want to do well in high school sailing and you want to do well in the Perry regattas, the 420 regattas out here, very strong fleets, this is where you learn how to do it. Let's see, 10286 won the under 12 championship this year. 10389 won all 4 races on qualifying day at nationals. Ended up, I don't remember what place. So anyway, some good sailors over here. 10094 was in San Francisco last weekend racing 29ers. Edgehead, purple boat. Very challenging boat to get flow upwind, getting flow over the leeward rudder, getting flow over the sail wind flow. It's a very difficult boat to get that, especially in really light wind, and therefore you just get good at every boat you'll ever sail in your life. It's also a very adjustable boat. You have to play the Cunningham, the bang, and the don't play the outhaul that much, but yeah, you got your leeward angle changes. All these little, after every 2 races, you're changing something. Leeward angle, outhaul, Cunningham, bang, or maybe all of it, where you're sitting. It just depends on how you're doing. But yes, it's a very adjustable boat, which is really good. Anywho, Declan, here is Armand. Ketsia. Oh, Elliot. Oh, Elliot's got his own boat now. That's right. Second regatta in his boat. His sail is an Elliot Sabot sail, actually. A Skip Elliot Sabot sail. Skip Elliot. Not many kids. Nobody else has a Skip Elliot sail except for Elliot.